Hello everyone and welcome back. So Google has recently released the Agent2Agent Protocol, and this has become more and more popular by the day, right? And this is coming at a time when Anthropic has released the MCP protocol and it has got a lot of traction. Now that Google has released this protocol also, now how does this relate to the MCP protocol that is already getting traction? Let's try to understand how these two compare to each other and how agent-to-agent protocol works in the first place. Let's look at the announcement page. First of all, this is the announcement, the first announcement that came from Google. And if you look at it, it is not like a random announcement where they have launched a framework and just let it out in the market. They have actually partnered with very significant firms such as Atlassian, Box, Cohere, Antuit or Intuit, Langchain, so on and so forth. So these are all the service or the product providers till here. And there are also service providers also getting involved. So these are the folks who will be creating the software or creating the agents, and they're going to start using the agent-to-agent framework in whatever solutions that they are going to build. So to put this in perspective, these are the companies who are actually the products which will be used by the agents, right? And these are the companies who are actually going to be building these agents from their respective teams. So for this particular video, I'm going to assume that you're already familiar with the MCP framework in the first place. Alright, I'm going to assume that you have already watched the previous video where I explained what MCP is exactly all about. But nevertheless, I still will have to explain what an MCP is in this video also. So this diagram here sort of summarizes the relationship between the MCP protocol and the agent-to-agent protocol. So this is by Anthropic, this is by Google. So what is the primary difference between an MCP and a agent-to-agent protocol? To understand this simply, MCP allows the agents to interact with various different types of tools. For example, here GitHub, Slack, various databases, various APIs. There are so many tools that you can think of. Gmail, Jupyter Notebook, WhatsApp, right? You think of all these tools. MCP allows the agents to interact with those tools, or to be more precise, MCP standardizes the way of giving your agent access to these tools that other people are building. For example, for your agent to know about information about a particular GitHub repository, GitHub will have an MCP server. Through that MCP server, your agent can get to know what the repositories are and contents of the various GitHub repositories. So that's exactly what MCP does. You can think of it as it enhances the capabilities of a given agent, right? It is adding more tools for the agent to perform various tasks. Now imagine this whole unit here. This whole unit here accomplishes certain tasks. It could be, say, creating a script for a movie, or it could be something like doing some sort of a research agent or a flight booking agent. So many examples are there. Now this whole unit is capable of doing that specific activity or that specific task or activity, whatever you want to call it, right? Likewise, there are many other agents this could be another agent which might be doing some other activity like, say, flight booking, let's say. And this might be built by completely different person, right? This could be built using LangGraph, whereas this agent could be built based out of, say, Crew.ai, right? Likewise, there are so many other agents that people are building. A2A is a framework where we let the agents interact with other agents. MCP allows the agent to interact with various tools, whereas A2A, agent-to-agent, allows agents to discover and interact with other agents and use their capabilities. Now, how is that even possible? Because this is built using LangGraph, the other one is built using Crew.ai, totally different softwares, they don't share their libraries. And how do the agents even interact and collaborate with each other? Can we even build a solution, say you are building an application where you might have a core host agent that you are having in your app, right? We call this agent that you are building as the client agent, alright? And this agent might use the capabilities of several other agents that other people might have built, and these agents are what we typically call as the remote agents. Let us understand this with an example so that it will be more clear. Now, for example, you are trying to build a flight booking agent, right? So here this is your client agent, all right? From this agent, you need various different types of tools in order to enable the flight booking to happen, right? So for this agent, we need a tool that might connect to, say, this is Make My Trip. MMT is Make My Trip. There's another service which provides the flight details, which is yatra.com. There's another service which provides flight details, which is Kayak, right? So these are all flight details, flight timing and flight schedule details. These are providers. You might also need tools that will do the research after you get the flight details, research and analysis. Then you sort of need to summarize what the different flight details and booking information is available already. And you might also need a tool that is required to make the payments also, right? This might not be the full list, but you get the idea. You will need all these different tools in order to build a flight booking agent. All right. Now, let's look at one other case where you are building a trip planning software. All right. So, this trip planning software will require the services of multiple different agents. Amongst the different agents, flight booking agent is one of the components of this trip planning software. You will need to plan the itinerary, right? After that, you will need to book the flights. You will also need to book the hotels. You will need to book the local transport. You will need to book the restaurant and dinner plans, food plans for the clients, right? You will also need to find the people who are trying to use your software. Will also need to find local events happening at the respective cities or places where they are visiting. Each of these can be their own independent agents, and these agents will also use the respective MCP protocol to connect to various different types of tools. Now, in order for this software, trip planning software, to work properly, these agents need to work collaboratively in a organized fashion to plan the trip properly. Hope you see the difference here. So this whole thing, the flight booking agent, is one component. It could be one component of a larger software or larger system. The agent-to-agent framework helps in these agents to collaborate between each other. Now, how is that even possible? For example, say you are building a client-side agent, core client-side agent you are building here, and these are all different agents that might be built by someone else. And it is using a different framework altogether. Say this is LangGraph, this is Crew AI, this is, say, AutoGen. Different frameworks people are using. Now, without sharing the respective code bases, so this person might not share what their code base is. All right. This agent might not share what tools it is using. We don't need to know that. Without sharing that, how will this client agent collaborate with all the different agents? Now, that is possible by the use of what Google refers to as the agent card. Every agent that you build, if it needs to work with the agent-to-agent framework, it needs to define an agent card which has a name, it has a description, it has the skills about what this agent can do, right? Name is the name of the agent, description is what it actually does. Skills is sort of the capabilities to understand, for other agents to understand the capabilities of the respective agent. As such, we put all that information in the agent card, and that is going to be available in a particular URL, right? This is the domain address, and this part of the URL is the format in which you need to design your JSON file, .well-known. So this is what an agent card is, and using this, we let other agents know what your agent is capable of doing, right? So in this whole schema of things, we are not letting other agents know what your tools are, what your memory is, what your thoughts are. They don't need to know about this. But the information exchange, the communication happens by sharing the context, the task updates, right? So I have another agent here, the client agent is here, and you need to connect to a particular flight booking agent, for example, right? This is a flight booking remote agent. Now, for these two guys to sort of interact with each other, they will need to share the context. They will need to share the task update. So you are giving this agent a task, and this agent needs to tell this agent back how long it is going to take to complete the task and what stage of the completion it is in. It is at a particular point in time, right? Those information needs to be communicated, right? So it will share the task updates. It will also share the instructions and the data also. So all of these information is not dependent on the tool. It does not depend whether you are using LangGraph or Crew AI or any other software. So at the end of the day, the A2A protocol enables a secure collaboration. The task and state management is very critical. It enables that, and capability discovery. The capability is something that you define in your description and skills. So this is the very fundamental idea behind what an A2A agent or A2A protocol does. In the coming sessions, we will try to do more hands-on exercises and hands-on practice based on our A2A protocol. Stay tuned.